Thank you. Breaking out of San Bernardino, California, we're hearing from the family members of those inside the Social Services Center when gunfire erupted during a holiday party. You see people filing out with their hands up, trying to get to safety in the aftermath of that shooting.
Yeah, investigators say at least 14 people were killed, 17 others hurt after one of their co-workers just opened fire yesterday. Now, we're told there were 2 suspects who opened fire. They were wearing assault-style clothing and armed with assault rifles and handguns. Now, one woman says she spoke with her daughter while the shooting was going on.
She was whispering, that's all she did. She was whispering, and she said they were in a room locked up because there were shooters, and that she thinks they were in another building, but she wasn't positive. And then she was going to turn off the lights, and then she had to go because I don't think they wanted to talk. Just in case the shooters were there, I don't think she wanted to get shot. So, of course, you're going to be quiet, and we hung up.
Now, the 2 shooting suspects were killed by police. This was one of the deadliest shootings in U.S. history. NBC reports it's the worst mass shooting since 27 people were killed in Newtown, Connecticut in 2012. Besides Newtown, only 4 other attacks have ended with larger body counts. Though these mass shootings have become all too common, it is unique to have multiple people involved. Of the 30 deadliest shootings in the U.S., only 3 have come at the hands of multiple shooters. We, of course, will have much more on this story as it develops throughout the morning, including details on the suspects as well as the investigation into a possible motive right here on Fox 19 Now. And, of course, for updates anytime, go to our website, fox19now.com, or you can download our mobile app.
We're also following some breaking news out of Tennessee. 2 Army pilots are dead after a Fort Campbell helicopter crashes and then catches on fire. The chopper went down nearly 12 miles south of the Army post last night during a routine training mission. Officials say the cause of the crash has not been determined at this point. The names of the pilots have not been released.
We have new information on the deadly crash in Roselawn. Investigators say 2 teenage brothers are dead. The pair was riding in the car that crashed into a tree on Reading Road near Lisanaville Avenue early yesterday morning. The driver and another passenger were taken to UC Medical Center with serious injuries. Investigators say no one was wearing seatbelts.
Happening today, unfortunately, layoffs begin at the Brown County Jail. The detention center was forced to close because of malfunctioning locks and doors. County leaders say the layoffs are necessary until repairs can be made. Well, deputies say the fix could end up costing upwards of $1 million. And that's not including the money Brown County is paying Butler County to house its inmates in the meantime. Also today, a new memorial marker will be unveiled to ensure that the victims of the 1979 concert tragedy will never be forgotten. Our Fox 19 Now's Megan O'Rourke joining us live from U.S. Bank Arena with all the details. Good morning to you, Megan.
Good morning to you as well. Yeah, it's been 36 years since that tragedy here at U.S. Bank Arena, but still many affected by it today. In fact, several of them are going to be alongside Mayor John Cranley as he dedicates that new memorial here outside the arena later this afternoon. Now, the memorial is still covered with a cloth right now, so we don't know exactly what it's going to look like, but we do know the point behind it. It's to honor the lives of the 11 people killed and the many others injured before the Who's 1979 concert at the old Riverfront Coliseum, now known as U.S. Bank Arena. Now, among the people who are going to be in attendance tonight will be Guy Nino, who was just 22 years old at the time of the tragedy and had been contracted to provide standby ambulance services. Listen to what he has to say.
We are here to honor and respect the fallen, but we also need to honor, respect, and find a turning point and closure for those who are still holding vigil.
Now, again, tonight's service is open to everyone. That dedication is going to be taking place at 7 o'clock here between U.S. Bank Arena and the ballpark. Reporting live this morning, Megan O'Rourke, Fox 19 Now.
Megan, thank you. Still ahead, we'll have much more on that mass shooting in California, including whether police have deemed this an act of terrorism.
Plus, crib bumpers may look cute, but doctors are sending out a warning that they could be dangerous to your baby. We'll tell you why after the break.
That bothers me a lot. When I looked over, they were literally eating out of the packages.
Yeah, can you believe it? Meat-eating birds. A crazy scene unfolding inside a Walmart store. The story you have to see to believe. Next on Fox 19 Now.
Fox 19 Now begins with breaking news.
No right family, no justice. Several breaking stories to get to right off the top. Protests break out overnight in Charlotte after the district attorney clears a police officer who fatally shot a black man. The incident caught on camera. The attorney says DNA evidence proves Keith Scott was carrying a gun at the time he was shot and killed. Therefore, the attorney says the shooting was justified. A few protesters were arrested following that decision, but for the most part, the demonstrations were peaceful.
We're also following breaking news from Tacoma, Washington, where a police officer was killed overnight while responding to a domestic violence call. Police are on the scene right now and say the suspect may still be barricaded inside that home. A woman and 2 kids were in the house at the time of the shooting, but they were not hurt.
The death toll from raging wildfires in Gatlinburg, Tennessee continues to rise. At least 7 people are dead with more than 50 others hurt.
Yeah, 2 inches of rain have helped firefighters calm the flames a bit, and now there's a huge effort to rescue people who are trapped.
You have trees down, you have power lines, down, which is some of them are still alive. You've got propane tanks leaking. I mean, it's just a multitude of things that you have to consider instead of just everything's fine, go in and search. So you have to keep it safe.
Officials fear that the death toll will continue to rise as several people are still missing in the thousands of acres hit by these wildfires.
Right now, there are ways that you can help the victims hit by these horrible wildfires. Plenty of people have been asking.
Absolutely, like they do with any major disaster, no matter how far away. Matthew 25 Ministries is responding today. Jordan Valines is live at their warehouse in Blue Ash. And Jordan, there are a couple ways people can get involved, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And just like you guys said, you can still help. And that's the biggest message that we want to get across, is that it's not too late to help those victims. So far this morning, we've actually already seen a couple of people come out and drop those donations by the side door, at the front door, because, of course, at this point, anything is going to help those victims. Now, thankfully, we do have a list that was given to us by Matthew 25 Ministries of exactly the items that they need to bring down today. So, of course, you have the monetary donations. You can donate online. You can also mail checks to Matthew 25 Ministries right here on Kenwood Road. And they also need things like non-perishable foods, personal care products, cleaning supplies, paper products, baby and infant supplies, and first aid items. Now, we saw the first truck take off here from their Blue Ash location around 4:15 this morning, and they are expected to ship out a lot more trucks here later on this morning. We're expecting them to leave around 8 or 9 o'clock. For now, reporting live in Blue Ash, Jordan Valines, Fox 19 Now.
All right, Jordan, thank you. 7:02 now. Let's switch gears here and talk about this cold switch up here we're dealing with in our weather. We're still waiting to find out if FC Cincinnati will take the step up to Major League Soccer. But one thing we do know, a lot more big games will be coming to Nippert Stadium. President Jeff Berding announced that he is working on several big matchups for the years to come.
We'll certainly have an international friendly. We might have more than one.
Fantastic.
So when I spent my 10 days in Europe, a lot of clubs express interest, and it might not just be from England. Maybe there's other European countries where clubs have reached out to us with interest. And maybe we'll play a friendly against MLS squad.
MLS Commissioner Don Garber says he was very impressed with FC Cincinnati during their visit this week, but there's no timetable of when expansion teams will be announced.
Don't mess with police in Canada, or you could be subjected to this. Goodbye. The Canadian town of Kensington has a plan to stop their residents from drinking and driving. Use Nickelback as a deterrent. Officials say next drunk driver they arrest will have to listen to Nickelback or they are hauled off to jail.
Nickelback is not that
The hate
bad.
on Nickelback continues. I could think of much worse.
I'm saying Nickelback is the new Avril. Do you remember?
Yes.
And I was a fan of both. Maybe you just don't like good music.
I feel like if they played Hanson like that.
Oh, gosh. Now that would be annoying.
Die.
7:06 now.
Do you want to make better shopping decisions? New research unveils a key thing not to do.
Several schools in Oregon just banned Santa Claus. What? Hear why they did it.
And I'm following breaking news, guys. The suspect is dead in the Tacoma, Washington standoff. That suspect shot and killed by police. Details coming down at this hour. I have them for you next at the Alert Desk.
Newly released video shows exactly what happened in an officer-involved shooting over the weekend.
Well, police say this man, 25-year-old Jawari Porter,
He's the one involved. They say he was shoplifting at the Vine Street Kroger and threatened a security guard with a knife. You can see that right there. Well, police say Porter made off with Gatorade, beer, and a pack of cookies.
And now about 10 minutes later, Porter was spotted near Government Square. In the distance, you see that police cruiser approach before Porter actually goes up to the officer, runs towards him. You can see he's inside right now. From there, prosecutor Joe Dieter says Porter tried to stab Officer Tony Brucato multiple times before Brucato opens fire and kills him.
Now, court records say Porter attended UC just 6 years ago and was ordered to do several different stints at mental health facilities prior to this weekend's incident.
This man tried to kill a Cincinnati police officer viciously.
Hamilton County Prosecutor Joe Dieter says after reviewing all of that information, the fatal shooting by police was justified and no charges will be filed in this case. So NYPD are on the scene of an officer-involved shooting that happened early this morning.
Charisse has been tracking this for you, and what do we know so far?
Right now, we're waiting to hear from the NYPD's police chief. Take a look at this. I've been following along. This is the Assistant Commissioner for Communication and Public Information page. He had just said just a few minutes ago that they will be updating reporters from the scene of that shooting in the Bronx in just a few minutes. Actually, I saw another tweet that said that this will be starting in about 5 minutes. Take a look at video from the scene. Still a heavy police presence this morning. What we know so far is the man grabbed an NYPD officer's gun during a struggle, fired off 15 rounds, killing an innocent bystander. Well, that man was then shot by a police officer twice in the chest. This all happened in the Bronx. The suspect is in the hospital right now and again waiting on word from the NYPD, and we'll be sure to bring it to you here at the Alert Desk. Kara.
A body found in central Kentucky has been identified as Robert Jones, the Florence man who went missing with his girlfriend last month. Jones' remains were found Friday off the side of Goshen Road in US 60, about 20 miles from Lexington. On July 8th, investigators said they found evidence indicating Jones and his girlfriend, Crystal Warner, were dead. Police are still searching for her body. 52-year-old Craig Pennington has been charged with the murder in this case. He rented a cabin from the couple. Police say he was behind on his rent.
The Hamilton County prosecutor and the health department, I should say, cracking down on the heroin epidemic in a big way. The health department is actually handing out these posters. They're going to go to more than 2,500 licensed businesses, many of them restaurants. They talk about the signs and the facts and symptoms tied to heroin use.
We want to put as many people on notice on what are the symptoms of opioid addiction, and most importantly, how you can save their life.
All right, so 23 people are killed by heroin and opioids weekly in Ohio, and 1 in 5 Ohioans knows someone addicted to heroin. If you want one of those signs to hang in your business, contact the Hamilton County Health Department. All right, so Delta is back on track this morning after major system-wide outages grounded the airlines worldwide. Now, 450 flights were canceled as a result, and many travelers are still trying to get to their destinations this morning. Fox 19 Now, Sarah Selly is live at CVG with an update, and the crowds have gone, but still people searching for flights across the country.
Yes, and even here at CVG, some of those canceled and delayed flights rolled into today, and so those folks are experiencing some headaches. You can see it this morning. This is pretty much what it looks like on a normal morning here at Cincinnati's airport. And Delta says if your flight was canceled or significantly delayed due to that outage, you are entitled to a refund. They're going to allow for a one-time change to the ticket. It applies to impacted travel through today, and the ticket has to be reissued on or before August 12th. Rebooked travel must begin no later than the 12th. The company is also waiving its change fees of $200. Delta not saying how it defines significant delays, but the CEO has apologized this morning for all of the impact. Reporting live, Sarah Selly, Fox 19 Now.
Yeah, what a mess. Glad it's getting cleared up for those travelers. Hey, who wants some free cheese? Skyline Chili letting you tack on 50% more cheese with no charge. They're bringing back the Skyway through August 28th, which adds a lot more cheese on your delicious 3, 4, or 5-way chili. I've already had 8 people share this on my Facebook. So tell your friends about it. Share it on Facebook.
Why would you not?
I know.
It's a good message to put out there. All right, so bad news if you like watching Hulu. You're going to have to pay up. The streaming service will now only be available to subscribers. Before, some content was free, while premium stuff was limited to account users. Officials say the move was necessary so they can keep adding more original content and expand its film and TV library.
Your personality traits could be the reason you just can't put down the smartphone. Most Americans check their phone every 6 minutes, but certain people are more addicted than others. Baylor University researchers found people who were more emotional tended to check their phone more often. Outgoing and even materialistic people also looked at their phones quite frequently.
All right. No comment from here. It's a mouth-to-mouth rescue you have never seen before. Frank was about to run in, and it seemed like those attributes.
He's not materialistic.
No, not at all.
Hey, and your dog is about to get a lot more comfortable. Take a selfie, it'll last longer. This is at the airport, a new invention that makes traveling with your pets easier, especially on days, you know, when a whole airline shuts down.
Absolutely. We'll tell you about it coming up.